Hi guys, welcome to day 19. Today we're going to be doing a character analysis using the short story, The No Guitar Blues. So we're going to be talking about how to do this as you do your second read. What is a character analysis, first of all? We do a character analysis to better understand a character's traits, emotions, and motives. How do we do it? Well, we need to ask ourselves questions. Good readers are always asking themselves questions as they read. And these questions that we are supposed to be asking ourselves help us to understand our characters a little bit better. So, first, we have to think about how a narrator describes a character's appearance, attitude, and behaviors. Also, we need to think about the character's words and thoughts and actions and think about what they say about him or her. And finally, we need to take a look at what other characters say, think, and what they do toward the main character. That's going to help us to get to know our characters a little bit better. We're going to think about that in a different way now. So if you see right up above my head, there are some notes that I'm going to give you to help you remember what we're supposed to do with our characters in a story. So as we read, we need to think about what characters look like, what they act like, what they say aloud, what they say in their head, and what others say about them. If you look at the first letter of those group of words, we see that word lasso. So when we are talking about characters, we can think that we need to lasso clues about them. And when we say lasso clues, we're going to annotate details about what characters look like, act like, what they say aloud, what they say in their head, and what others say. Then we need to process what we know. So it's more than just annotating. We need to then take a next step and actually think and use what we've discovered. So obviously our first step is to read. When we read, we are given things directly from the author. We're given facts and details directly, but we're also given things indirectly. So for example, characters' actions, we're told what they do. We then need to make an inference about what that says about their character. So if we look at what a character does, we need to infer what that says about them as a person. After we get all of our annotations and our thoughts and we make our inferences, we need to categorize our characters. So characters fall into two different categories. The first one is a protagonist. Protagonist is the leading figure, the main character. You might refer to them as the good guy or the hero. When we talk about protagonists, we're going to be talking about them using positive character traits. It doesn't mean that everything that they do is perfect or everything is great. It means that they may have overcome challenges, but they persevered through and came out good in the end. Antagonist is different. Antagonist is the character that goes against the protagonist, also known as the bad guy, the baddie, or the villain. It might be the bully in the story. When we are asked to analyze an antagonist, we want to focus on character traits that are negative. So now we're going to draw conclusions using all of the annotations that we made, using the inferences that we made about characters, using the categorization, whether a character is a protagonist or an antagonist. We're going to draw a conclusion about them and assign them a character trait. So, for example, a protagonist is going to have a positive character trait. They might be loyal, they might be thoughtful, they might be studious or independent, whereas antagonists are going to be given negative character traits such as selfish or demanding, character traits such as messy. So we have to put all of the clues together after we lasso our clues. We need to make inferences, and then we need to think about whether they're protagonists or antagonists before we draw a conclusion about their character trait. Now we're going to review a little bit about what we just talked about. So go ahead and watch the video along with me. You'll see in one example, you're given all the character clues directly. In the second example, you're having to make inferences to determine or to draw conclusions about the character. So go ahead and watch carefully. So now we're going to go ahead and take what we've learned and apply it to the No Guitar Blues. So if you haven't gotten to page 48 in your second read, you can go ahead and pause the video and go back to the beginning, start your second read, and when you get to page 48, you can go ahead and play the video along and do the work, do your annotations with me. So make a decision about what you're going to do. All right, so we're on page 48. We're going to go ahead and read page 48 and we're going to annotate for character analysis. So it starts off with, as Fausto walked to the door, the man opened his wallet and took out a bill. "This is for you," he said. "Roger is special to us, almost like a son." So we know that the main character is Fausto. So Fausto is the one that we're going to be analyzing. Just for context, we should remember that Fausto had lied to these people and said that their dog was by the freeway, and he had done that because he was trying to get money out of them. Really, he didn't ask for money, but he said, if he brought back such a special dog, that the people would probably give him money. So that's why he was at their house. Second paragraph. Fausto looked at the bill and knew he was in trouble. Not with these nice folks or with his parents, but with himself. How could he have been so deceitful? The dog wasn't lost. It was just having a fun Saturday walking around. So he says in his head that he is being deceitful. He knows he's in trouble, not with anybody but himself, because he's being deceitful. "I can't take that." "You have to. You deserve it. Believe me," the man said. "No, I don't." The man said, "Others say that Fausto is deserving of the money." "Now don't be silly," said the lady. She took the bill from her husband and stuffed it into Fausto's shirt pocket. You're a lovely child. Your parents are lucky to have you. Be good and come see us again, please. Others say the woman in the situation says that he's a lovely child. Fausto went out and the lady closed the door. Fausto clutched the bill through his shirt pocket. He felt like ringing the doorbell and begging them to please take the money back, but he knew they would refuse. He hurried away and at the end of the block pulled the bill from his shirt pocket. It was a crisp $20 bill. He said in his head he wants to give the money back. Oh man, I shouldn't have lied, he said under his breath as he started up the street like a zombie. He wanted to run to church for Saturday confession, but it was past 4:30 when confession stopped. So he says that he shouldn't have lied. He said that aloud. He looked like a zombie walking up the street, and he says in his head that he would like to go to church to confess his sins. So we're going to go ahead and stop right there, and we're going to use these clues to draw some conclusions. First, we need to process what we know. So here are my inferences based on those clues in the text. My first inference is that Fausto regrets what he did. A lot of the thoughts inside of his head, for example, the one where he says he is deceitful, lets me know that he's regretting his actions. Also, the fact that other people continue to say that he's good, let me know that people can see that he's actually a good person. I do believe that the couple knew that he wasn't being 100% honest, and they were just trying to help him realize that he was good. Then we need to categorize. Even though Fausto did something bad, he feels bad about it. So he is a protagonist. So remember that a protagonist often has to overcome challenges. And this is Fausto's challenge, and he does overcome it. Therefore, he's a protagonist. So now let's take a look at our daily task. Let's analyze Fausto. The first question is Fausto a protagonist or an antagonist? Go ahead and answer that right now. Next, you have to assign Fausto character traits. So we did a lot of work on page 48, but you should have annotations about character analysis for the whole story. So go back and look at some of your annotations to help guide you through this work. I gave you the first one. Number one, I said that Fausto is a dreamer. My evidence comes from the first page of the story. It stated, that afternoon, Fausto knew his mission in life, to play guitar in his own band, to sweat out his songs and prance around the stage, to make money and dress weird. My explanation is that Fausto's thoughts prove that he has lofty and unique dreams for himself to become a musician. So continue on and complete numbers 2 and 3, looking at different parts of the story to draw conclusions about Fausto's character. You can use page 48 and all the evidence that we did together for additional traits for this chart as well. Remember that Fausto is a protagonist, therefore we should keep our traits positive. Make sure to reach out with any questions and send me a picture of this work when you're done. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye.